Hey there, Cherie here from Cherie's Alchemy, and I'm excited to be back today to share a video with you guys where I'm going to show you a haul that I did as well as a pattern review at the end. And so if you recall from my last video, my last couple videos, I mentioned to you that I did a 60-day no-buy challenge. So I couldn't buy any fabric patterns. I didn't even buy any notions for 60 days. My 60 days ended back into June, and I did buy patterns, which that was my last video you saw, which was my pattern haul. And I also placed an online order for some notions. And I did that specifically because typically I get my notions, most of my notions from Joann Fabrics. And I knew during that time they were having all kinds of clearance sales on fabric and all kinds of stuff. And I just didn't want to deal with the temptation. And so I decided to go ahead and try ordering some things online. I was looking for some very specific things also. There are things that I've used before, but I haven't replenished in a while. And I have a lot of really fun projects that I'm working on, which are going to be using some of these tools. And of course, I'll be sharing these projects here with you guys soon. So I have put links in the description box for all of the things that I'm going to talk about today. They are Amazon affiliate links, just so you know. Feel free to use them. And yeah, at the end of this video, like I said, I'm going to do a review of a pattern. So let's get started. The first thing I want to show you guys are these really cool chalk markers. They're from a brand called Madame Sew. And they're making all kinds of really cool sewing notions for people. I have another order coming in and I have more things for them. So I'm looking forward to testing those out, and I'll be sure to share those with you guys as well. But anyway, I have two uses for these. First of all, I have some tailoring that I'm doing for some of my fall and winter sewing projects. And then I also have some, I like to use these for some other tracing things that I'm working on. And again, like I said, I'm going to share those projects with you. They're the kind of things where basically I keep like a little sketchbook, and I'm going to be trying my hand at actually making some of these things that I've been dreaming about and sketching and wanting to make for a while. So these pens, they come in a bunch of colors. I got the yellow, the white, and the red because I felt like those were the primary colors that I would need to show up, you know, when I'm tracing on fabric. These chalk pens, supposedly, after you use them, you can simply just brush the chalk off. They are refillable, which is nice. Yeah, and it's supposed to work on all kinds of fabric. And so, yeah, and the other thing I like about these is that for me, they're easy to hold. You know, I had bought a bunch of those like typical tailor's chalk, you know, the little triangle chalk things. And I even brought the little holder for it, but I don't know. I just always feel like that's like really uncomfortable. And then the holder thing I got, they were always falling out. And so this just looked like it would work better for me. And I like the way it feels in my hand. I have a lot of control. So yeah, these chalk markers are, I think, going to be put to good use. Next up, still in the marking vein, I got so many of these because honestly, first of all, this is the kind of thing that I'll lose at the back, you know, it'll roll off the sewing table and be back in the corner on the floor. And then I also got this colored pack because, again, depending on what I'm working on, you know, I might want to try a different color. And to be quite honest with you, this was like a little nostalgic for me because, you know, being a child, you know, being in school in the 70s, it reminds me of like the little wax pencils that we used to use, and you would just like peel the paper back to sharpen them. And this has the same thing. It has a little string on it that you'll pull and you'll kind of wrap around to sharpen it. So anyway, I got this color pack because it was just a great price to have all these different colors. And then I also got just a straight pack of black. You can use these on fabric. I plan to use some of these for tracing I told you guys that I treated myself to a subscription of Fiber Mood magazine. I also pulled out a bunch of my old Berta and Trend Mode magazines that I picked up while I was living in Germany. And so I want to go and just trace a bunch of patterns at one time, because that's like the holdup for me. Going and sewing those things is like the effort to, like, you know, by the time I've traced all that stuff, and it's like, I'm done. So I'm going to try, especially as the weather starts to cool in the fall, maybe dedicating some time, and it'll just be like a weekend of tracing or something, just to get some things together. And so that's what I got these for. And again, this was just a really good price. I like that you don't have to have a sharpener, right? And you don't have to create all that like sharpener dust in your sewing space. And I like that they're water soluble. And yeah, so I don't know, let me know. Do you ever use wax pencils like this? You know, I learned to sew a really long time ago. I'm almost 50 and I learned to sew when I was 12. And so, you know, I was just used to like marking everything, using my tailor's chalk, doing the hand basting, you know, to set stitch lines and stuff. And it's funny because, you know, you get a little bit more modern with your sewing, but there's just still certain things I don't know, that like using scissors to cut my fabric for sewing projects versus a rotary cutter, right? And there's just certain things that I think I will just never let go of. And using these kind of tracing pencils is one of them. I did buy some of those like markers, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same to me as one of these. So I got a good stock supply of those wax tracing pencils, tracing and marking pencils. Next thing I got, I have some quilting projects that I'm working on, and I was in need of more quilting pens. I mentioned in my Make 9 video that I'm supposed to be making a quilt for both my daughter and my son, and I haven't started either one of them. And so I'm trying to go into beast mode there and like get these quilts done. Now, my son graduated from high school back in June, but has decided to do a gap year before he starts college. So I have a little bit more time to get his quilt ready, but I do want to start working on my daughter's quilt. I'm gonna be dropping her back off at college soon. She's been home since last year, March 2020. And so they're finally reopening the school for in-person learning. And yeah, so I'll be getting her back to school. So her quilt will probably end up being like a Christmas gift, because it's a very intricate quilt and there's no way I can get that done. But anyway, got my supplies ready. The other kind of pens I just got some long pearlized pens and some ballpoint pens. These were basically at the price that I usually get them at Joann's when they're having a Notion sale. And so I just stocked up on those because, again, this is something that disappears. Like, by the time I complete like 3 or 4 projects, I won't have any more of these pens. I have no idea where they go. Like, it's like the socks, right? Like, you put 2 socks in, you get 1 sock out. Like, I have no idea where all these pens go. But especially with all the sewing that I'm doing and then that I'm planning, you'll see in my next video, I'm like, I like to sit and cut a bunch of stuff out. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I need my pens. So I got pens. So yeah, got those. I got another thing that I used to, when I first started sewing, I mean, I used to hem a lot with Heat Mon. Like, you know, I was that person who would stay up till, I would get my homework done, and then I would stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning to sew an outfit to wear to school the next day. And so like when I was in high school, I had many nights like that, because I would just like have this thing set in my head, or it might be like a theme day at school and I'm like, I know exactly what I want to make. And so almost everything was hemmed with Heat Bond. It's like, because I was usually rushing at the last minute and I was just like, do the Heat and Bond. Well, anyway, so I haven't actually used Heat and Bond hem adhesive in decades, like in decades. But I got this not for Heat and Bond, but for one of my projects that I'm working on. And again, I'll show you how I use this. And then I got a second one because I realized this is just a good practical thing for my daughter to have with her at school. Like if she, she doesn't have a sewing machine there with her. So if she needs to hem something or, repair something real quick, Heat and Bond. So I got 2 of those. And again, they were like really inexpensive on Amazon. And so the next thing I got is starting to be in the fall. Will start knitting season for me. I don't knit in the summer. I don't know. It's like a psychological thing. It's something about like sitting with all this wool when it's hot. Just doesn't sit well in my head. But it's about to start up. And what happens is there's every once in a while, there's something where I'm like sewing something or, especially if I'm making a sweater and then I don't have a seam ripper nearby. And so I do the whole like pull it thing and I shouldn't be doing that. So I wanted to have a seam ripper because I knit in a section of my basement where we have like a TV area, or sometimes I'll take it in like the movie theater with me. And so I wanted to have a seam ripper that I kept there. I love Olive Clover brand's tools. I mean, they just make great tools. What I liked about this one, it has that retractable. I need to get one of these for my sewing table too, because I've poked myself several times on that little tip. But yeah, this just has a retractable seam ripper tip. So that's the only reason why I got that. And it was just, I was actually browsing Clover tools because I was thinking about getting some more knitting needles, which they'll come in my second order. And then of course, while I was looking, I saw this like little, this was so inexpensive and just, again, y'all gonna think, I actually don't use the seam ripper a lot, but I'm the kind of person, because I don't use it all the time, it's never in a set place. And so I went on and got this because this little set here, I plan on sending with my daughter to school, just some little clippers and a little tape measure. And then I might send her one of these seam rippers, but I don't think she'll need it. And then, yeah, I'll have some extra seam rippers. But I thought this is actually a really nice, and, I wasn't sure how good it was going to be, but I have to say these are pretty weighty, pretty nice. And this was just a nice little, like, beginner sewing pack. You could use, you could split these up and set up a couple little sewing baskets. Yeah. So that's just a little diddle daddle. Again, here's something that I got for my quilting projects. I like to use these little clips. I have a bunch of bigger clips, but I don't know why. I didn't have small clips. And actually a couple sewing projects that I'm working on, I need these clips for. So I just got a big 10 of them. I think it's like, there are a couple hundred, maybe even 500 clips in this 10. This is like a little old-fashioned 10. I don't I thought I was getting a plain silver one, but I got this one, but that's fine. Moving on, I got some transfer paper, again, for an upcoming project, you will see. This was also something I used to use a lot when I first started sewing. I would put the transfer paper, sandwiched between my fabrics, when I had right sides facing or whatever, when I had to mark. And that is how I would go through and like mark the seams and, where I would match up different things. I always use this. That's how I learned to sew. And so now I will usually do a little snip, a little cut. But when for a long time when I first learned to sew, I would never like cut a notch into my fabric. I would put transfer paper in between, and I would just go over that line to create the notch with the transfer ink. So, but that's not what I got this for. I'm going to be using it for something else, another project that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. And I got this sampler pack. You can get it where it's like all white or all solid colors. I like the sampler pack because, again, when you're working with different color fabrics, it's nice to have different color lines. So this one has like 5 different colors of transferred paper in there. And then I got more transferred paper, mainly because this was like super inexpensive for the amount that I got. It's also the mixed color. And I just wanted to see, like, you know, is it going to perform as well as this brand that I typically use? And to my surprise, what I liked about this, yeah, that's why I was opening it to show you. This actually came with a little tool, a little stylus, which I don't even think I realized. So that's a bonus for that. So now I got like another tool, because I would usually just go over it with a pencil or something, or I have this like little, you know, plastic dowel-y thing. But that's like a nice little tip. It has actually 2 different kinds of tips, one sharp and one ballpoint on this tool. So I got 2 packs of those. I got 2 different sizes because I want to be able to put this down and like do my tracing on top for my, what I'm leading to is a quilt project. Ooh, I just revealed it. So I wanted to be able to, these are going to be similar sizes to my block. So I want to be able to put the whole thing down and trace it. So that's why I got 2 different sizes there. And then I got a bunch of paper piecing foundation sheets. And so, yeah, I have not actually ever done a paper piecing quilt project. And I have books on it. I've studied it. I've printed out designs on my EQ. I have EQ8 electric quilt software. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to actually like get in there and work on a project and do some of these things that I've always been wanting to do. And this has always been one of the reasons why I didn't start, because I didn't have this paper. So this is, you put this in your inkjet printer, and so then I can go into EQ, electric quilt software. Do I have EQ8 or do I have the upgrade? I think I have the upgrade. I can't remember. But anyway, I can go in there and I'll print the quilt blocks right on here, and then I'll do the paper piecing, and then you just tear this off. Come on. And so again, this would be something that I would get in Joann's, like with my half off coupon, and get a little pack. The price on Amazon was unbelievable. So I'm well stocked on that, and I have no reason to not finally get my project done. So yes, I revealed it. I have some quilting projects that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and some other things. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm in the midst of, well, I needed to declutter my sewing room anyway. Like, I knew it from the beginning. I'm storing too much stuff in there. And so I'm trying to only have in there, well, not only, I just need to reduce the amount of fabric that I'm keeping in there. Number one, it's distracting for me. I look across the room, I see a print. I'm like, oh, that'll be great with this. And then, you know, I'm off on a tangent, and there goes my sewing time. The other thing is that in order for me to get the lighting in there the way I need to really share with you guys the way I want to, I actually have to rearrange my furniture, which, you know, is fine, but it's gonna require, like, I need a weekend to like really sit and focus and think through, because right now, you know, I'm stuck. Like, I can't move the way I need to move to like do these sewing tutorials properly. So I'm working on that, and then I will be able to start showing you guys. I should say I keep my quilting sewing machine. My quilting machine is not in the same room with my sewing machine. So I could probably get started on some of those, but I need to focus. I need to like get that done so it's set, because that's the holdup right now for me with like filming new things for you. Because after showcasing the things that I did film, you know, I was like, oh, the lighting isn't that great. Like it's too dark. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. I don't dare show you guys a before sewing room. Or maybe I'll show you like an intermediate. It was really good for a long time. And then I can trash a sewing room like in a day though. And that's what happens when I go into these modes where I'm just like, oh, I want to cut out a lot of stuff. I'm like cutting and then I'm throwing the scrap fabric somewhere and then I'm pulling this out. And that's what's happened now. I literally have like piles of stuff that I pulled off the shelves because I was thinking about like, oh, it would be good for this. Oh, it would be good for that. And I need to just get that back on the shelf. But that's why I don't need to keep so much in my like visible space. And so, yeah, that was a tangent. So anyway, this is my haul. Like I said, I have links in the description box if you guys are interested in using my affiliate links. No hard feelings if you don't. But just wanted to share that. And then my final part of this video is a pattern review. Can you guess what I'm going to review? I'm wearing it. So silly. I'm wearing it. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite patterns that I bought in 2020. It is the Sagebrush top. Did I buy it in 2020 or did I buy it earlier this year? Am I the only? It's like time is like a blur for me. But yeah, I bought this Sagebrush pattern. I don't know. The picture was just so cute. And I like, this is not a hard top to make, but I felt like just the little details, I feel like I'm wearing, you know, you throw it on like you would throw on a t-shirt, but it's just so cute. And what I liked about it is that it works with all kinds of fabric. And so, yeah, I'm gonna pop a picture here of the pattern cover so you can see that. This is totally hackable in a dress. I've seen some people, I think on Instagram, who've hacked it into a dress, and I totally want to do that because it's just so easy breezy and just cute as all get out. And then the other thing I liked about it is that it's really a size inclusive pattern. I mean, I think it goes from like an extra, extra small up to a 6X. And on the pattern cover, you'll see they actually show like two completely different kind of like body types wearing it. And it's cute as all get out on both. Like everybody that I've seen posting this looks awesome in it. So I shared on Instagram already. And again, I'll pop a picture here. I shared on Instagram already one of them that I made. And it's this one. This is the one that I wear all the time. Because look at you, I can wear it with my black pants. I actually just cut out some red linen pants. But I have some red trousers from Ann Taylor. That's what I have on here in this picture. And I just love this top. This one is in rayon. So you'll notice in the picture, like the sleeve doesn't stay as poofed out as this one. This one is in a 100% cotton print by Kaffe. And I'll put a link to this fabric in the description box below. It's red and purple, and I don't usually wear red and purple, but I love all his fabrics. So I don't know, there was just something about this that I just loved. And so if you do it in, you know, like a more of a cotton fabric or probably even like a linen, your sleeve is gonna stay kind of poofed out like this. If you do it in a rayon or just a lighter fabric of voile, the sleeve actually really just kind of drapes down. So you get kind of a different look. It's just a very simple bias binding around the neckline, which, you know, is long so that it ties in the back. But you could modify that and put like a little button, like I was thinking about doing that for one. But it goes together so easily. and it wears so nicely. And again, you know, if you're slender in the hips and, you know, don't have a lot of curvature in your rear end, I mean, you could just extend this straight down, right? And have a dress. I would have to, you know, flare out a little bit so that things fell nicely over my bottom half. And I'm totally going to do that because I just think this is going to be a really cute dress. So that's on my list. I got to get on that. And then the other one I have sitting waiting, I actually have, that's why I did the review. I'm like, let me put this top on for the video and review it for the people real quick because it's just a great summer top. And I actually, right now I have, the fabric that I have pulled to make the dress is a yellow gauze. I want to make this a yellow double gauze. I thought that would be so pretty and summery. So I want to make that real quick and get that in so I have that to wear during the summer. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys real quick if you're looking for a cute, easy, I didn't mention, you could probably see on the screen, this top is from Friday Pattern Company. And again, it's called the Sage Brush Top. And so, yeah, I'll put a link to the pattern also in the description box. I'll put a link to this fabric and I'll put a link to this fabric all in the description box for you guys, okay? So that is it for me for today. I thank you for watching. I will be back again soon with another pattern review. I have the next one lined up for you guys. And yeah, let me know if you've made the Sage Brush top. Let me know if you've done Notion shopping on Amazon before. And let me know if you've used any of these tools before, okay? All right, I think that's it. Okay, guys, I will see you back here again soon. In the meantime, I hope you sold something and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.